diabetes, heart disease, cancer, things like Alzheimer's.
We've got to ask ourselves what we need to do to make that happen. And that's what this entire program was designed to do, to become the most healthy and most exuberant, most vibrant that you can possibly be.
So on that note, with cancer cells, mTOR plays a role in what way to cancer cells?
In the initiation.
Okay.
And in the progress. Cancer goes through 3 stages: initiation, progress, and metastasis. To initiate cancer, you got to do some terrible things to your body. And one of them is treat yourself badly enough so that apoptosis is no longer a viable solution to killing cells that come out stupid and don't look right.
And important to note here, our bodies go
through this every day.
They get and kill cancer every day.
Every day.
And that's a very important point to make. This is constantly happening, so that that apoptosis process is happening on
every day, and has been happening with us until someday you end up with cancer, which tells you that even though it's still happening, it's been failing.
The destruction of the cancer cells.
In other words, even though apoptosis is still going on, or you wouldn't be able to live, you would accumulate so many dead cells and aberrant cells you would never get this old. In other words, apoptosis continues to go on, but it becomes a failing process to allow certain cells to get past it. And that's because P53 and P20 gene expression is silent, and that's a result of an aberrated mTOR condition through ATP energy imbalances. AMPK, reestablishing energetic supply to the cells, downregulates mTOR and ends the proliferative cycle of cancer cells by reinstituting apoptosis and autophagy, which is the destruction of the cells the way they're supposed to.
Okay. And go ahead and finish your point you were making about the process of cancer cells. They go through 3 processes. So the first process is creating the cancer cells. You got to create the cancer.
The cancer it cannot, in other words, we kill it every day. There's got to be an environment that's not inhospitable to cancer in order for it to get started and then to grow, because your body kills it all the time. We undergo complete assault by random oxygen species every day. We have a lot of attacks by oxidants, oxidative stress on our bodies constantly. I mean, if it isn't from the foods and we eat, to the drink, to stuff we drink, to the fact that we don't go to bed till late at night, to the fact that we walk around with cell phones on us and we're wired to every wireless device, and we have power lines going over our heads soaking us in microwave transmission. From all of these assaults to our body, we have this condition going on. So we have a continuing need for an establishment in our body of balance, and that's where we're finding apoptosis and cancer cells getting their opportunity. When apoptosis becomes downregulated because disease or aging pathways have been instituted, and you don't have to find yourself diseased at a young age to be instituting those pathways. They're going to happen no matter what with aging. And you and I play a vital role in making that happen earlier because of the way we live and eat. So instead of halting the process, we accelerate it. It's up to us, and we do it to ourselves. So that process is continued forward in an accelerated fashion, and that's where cancer cells get their ability to initiate, to begin in an environment that used to be inhospitable, but no longer is inhospitable, is now nurturing the ability of cancer cells to grow, and furnishes them with the mechanisms they need to latch on to a hypoxic environment feeding on glutamine and sugar, and to turn around and turn into a tumor, and then to get out of control and kill us. So we create that microenvironment, and that allows it to initiate, to start to set down roots instead of dying, to set down roots and grow. After that, cancer must do certain things in order to continue to be there. It has to form a blood supply. It has to form a food supply. It has to establish itself. then it has to overcome its host. So those processes are the progression of cancer, from the initiation now to the progression. If it's found a copacetic microenvironment to begin with, it's probably got a copacetic microenvironment to progress in. And depending on that microenvironment and the kind of cancer it is, that will give you the speed of how quickly it grows and progresses. And then there's the metastases. Once that cancer has become established, it begins exuding certain kinds of what they call metalloproteinases, which are chemicals that dissolve the cellular structures of other cells so that the cancer can then break through the cellular wall of other cells and inhabit the cell, take over the nucleus, and begin the process of furthering itself into other tissues.
I see.
And that's how it grows. And that's how it spreads. Once it initiates in that microenvironment that breeds it, and it finds a progressive environment that allows it to grow, it then begins to produce chemicals of its own designed to carry it further into the system. And that's called metastases, when your colon cancer becomes your liver cancer and your brain cancer and your lung cancer. It's you. It's developed enough enzymatic activity to go in from these metalloproteinases and to dissolve the cellular structures, the walls of your cells, and then to begin proliferating into other areas.
Okay.
Now you're in trouble.
Sure. Getting down to the cellular level, this is what our cells expect of us. This is what we need to give them. It's completely within our control to give our cells what they need. And in doing so, we're talking about completely eliminating diabetes, cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and a myriad of other diseases.
But indeed, it truly is there. I mean, the DNA is the code. If anybody asks me what I consider health to be, can I define the quality of good health? Good health is the application of the DNA program. If we would obey the code written in our DNA, then our cells would perform according to that code. It's us that absconds with that code. We're the ones that mess it up. We're the ones that refuse to apply ourselves to what the cells ask of us. We get a sense then of ourselves as a whole human being, but then we also get the sense that we are no longer able to, with disregard, do anything that we care to do to ourselves. We now must take a look at what we require to generate that quality of health, that application of the proper DNA code.